Welcome to the Hidden Palace with Skyblaze.
Good morning, afternoon, evening or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Skyblaze and this is the Hidden Palace here on Radio SEGA. Apologies to anyone who was expecting me yesterday. My health is an ongoing nightmare. I am getting treatment, I'm being referred to a specialist. Stuff is happening just slowly because ongoing health crisis slows things down, as it turns out. But I'm here now, so as we're in the year 2020, I thought it would be pretty interesting to see what SEGA Arcade games have hit their milestone yearly anniversaries. Though, on second thought, this is probably just going to make me feel really old, isn't it? Not that this is new, because I just have to talk to Viper for 5 minutes and remember that he's a fetus, and I feel old anyway. But let's carry on regardless. So in 2005, Sangokushi Taisen was released. It was a physical and digital card game based on the Three Kingdoms period of Chinese history, as well as the novel based on this period of time, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is itself a very famous novel. It was released for the arcade, Nintendo DS and PC, and allows you to face off against the computer, or a friend, with your selected general and troops. The arcade version uses an input system which is similar to the World Championship Football arcade games, weirdly enough. I guess I can see where they're coming from, you know, troops, battle, football teams, maybe. But you could use special cards to construct a team of 11 players and allow you to issue orders during the match. And a similar system was used in Sangokushi Taisen. And Frost is saying, Viper is an 11-year-old who is dealing with everybody's problems. It is true! You are not wrong. Anyway, the Sangokushi version is a bit more refined as it tracks troop movement instead of just initial placement. Each general has a number of stats, including strength and intelligence, depending on their and depending on their mana or energy, this will help determine things such as the number of troops you can have access to, as troops can take between 1 and 3 slots of the 8 that you have available. There are 5 types of troops that you have access to: swordsmen, spearmen, cavalry, archers, and siege engines. Each one will have a strength towards and a weakness towards one of the other troops, although depending on the exact troop you have, they will have additional abilities to help you in your fights against your opponent. Several revisions of this game were released, including Sengoku Taisen 1560 Awari no Funj. I don't know if I've pronounced that properly at all. And this was a new version of the game which was set in feudal Japan and released on the Ring Edge arcade system, which I have discussed in a previous episode. And who have we got in the chat today? So we've got Resident SD, Aquadan88, my husband Greyfall's around, Doan is here, Frostgamer, Twinny. If there's anybody else, give a shout. Oh, Electric Boogaloo's here, of course. Green Viper is saying, may I remind you this is an awfully odd claim for someone with their birth year and their username. Is that Aquadan88? I don't know. Because I don't have my... I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, Viper is ridiculously young and deals with a lot of our shit. So, good on him for dealing with a lot of our shit. Okay, let's have some music then. This might be a fairly short show because I'm still kind of being propped up by painkillers. So, we'll see how it goes. So from Sangokushi Taisen we've got Dragon Orb, and then from Sonic and the Black Knight we've got The Kingdom and Its People. So enjoy those, and I will speak to you again after the break.
listening to Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7. Sega!
And we are back. And that was Sonic and the Black Knight, The Kingdom and Its People, and before that from Sangakushi Taisen, Dragon Orb. Let's head a little further back into the start of the new millennium, where some people, mostly idiots, thought the world would end, but thankfully we survived. How much of a blessing this is? Up for debate. But here we are. Because otherwise we won't be able to celebrate 20 years of the Derby Owners Club 2000. Wait. Hang on. Is this something to celebrate? I guess. This is a horse racing game which seats 8 players at once and lets you take part in nearly every aspect of horse rearing and racing. Thankfully, not including mucking out the stables. You get to choose the parents of the horse that you start with, choose the outfit your jockey will wear, as well as the training you put your horse through by playing up to 10 different minigames. After training, you get to race against other players or the CPU with in-game money prizes if you manage to get a high enough position at the end of the race. After each race, you'll then have a small quiz which will test your knowledge of your horse, with wrong answers having a negative effect on your relationship with your horse. Okay then. Your horse will have around 30 to 40 races in them before they are considered too old and they start to perform slowly against younger and fresher racers. Before your horse gets put out for pasture, you can use them to breed a new one, so long as you've completed at least 20 races. At least there isn't like a mini-game involving a glue factory, because I think that would probably be a bit much. Yes, I am a terrible, terrible person. And Grey4 just did a really brutal gif involving a jockey getting on a horse and just the horse just body slamming him into the ground. Wow. Anyway, where was I? I got completely distracted. What the hell is that, Resident SD? There's a horse head with like multicoloured, like hypnotoad. I don't. What? Well, now I'm distracted. Thanks, chat. You did it again. So, to ensure you get your money's worth from this arcade game, your racer information can be saved onto a card thanks to the memory card reader on dispenser technology, or the MCRD. Using glitches or random chance, you can unlock special horses. They are not particularly special in ability, but rather in appearance. You can come across horses which have zebra stripes, tiger stripes, and panda prints. Weirder still, you can find people who are selling these cards on eBay for real-life money. Alright. So apparently these kind of special horses, in inverted commas, are in demand. Oh, it's the My Lovely Horse thing from the Eurovision Father Ted episode. I'd forgotten about it, actually. I have seen the episode, but it was a long time ago. I've heard the song since, usually from people taking the Michael out of the Eurovision Song Contest. No one's saying they've played a horse racing game where you can play an elephant, a panda, a pantomime horse, and other weird things. I want to know what this horse racing simulator is called, because that sounds really, really random. And exactly the sort of thing that I wish to know more about. Okay. Well, after that... Oh, they say they saw recordings of it. They haven't actually played it themselves. I still want to know more about it. I still definitely want to know more about this really bizarre thing, a horse racing simulator where you can race an elephant or a panda. I'm especially intrigued by the pantomime horse because that sounds delightfully bizarre. Ah, dear. Right, I did manage to track down some music from the Derby Owners Club. So, no track names, just track numbers. So, from the Derby Owners Club, we've got Derby OC number 2. And then, the only request I've actually received tonight, we've got from Cool Riders, Hang On, A Theme of Love, which was requested by Electric Boogaloo. So, enjoy that, and I will be back after the break for another quite odd game. Oh dear. Is this really happening, or have I taken too many painkillers? Let's carry on regardless, so here you go with the music break. Speak to you guys in a bit. we are back, and that was Cool Riders Hang On Theme of Love, which was requested by Electric Boogaloo, and then before that we heard from Derby Owners Club, Derby OC02. That track from Cool Riders is pretty good until like the final third, when it sounds like the musician's cat has jumped on his keyboard, and he's trying to chase the cat off the keyboard. Because it suddenly starts going really like pressing random keys and it sounds really discordant. Oh well. And yes, we have discovered proof of the funny horse racing game, which involves pandas and elephants and pantomime horses. It's apparently called Japan World Cup 3. Oh my god! I have nothing. Japan, everyone. Electric Boogaloo is saying, blame Hero, he arranged the remix. Does he have a cat? Because based on the sound of that, I suspect that he does. I know that Darwin can certainly speak for what happens when you have a cat and you are trying to use any form of keyboard, whether that be for writing or playing music. Keyboards have this sort of magnetic attraction for cats. Anyway. Oh dear. Right, the clock takes all the way back to 1995 now, with a game called Funky Head Boxers. A boxing game released only in Japan on the SEGA AM3 arcade board in December of that year. This is where all the boxers have box-shaped heads. Yes, boxers boxing. I see what you did there! Unfortunately. The funky part, in inverted commas, comes into play when you see what these boxers look like. Each fighter basically has a semi-photorealistic image of each of their faces, which is kind of pasted onto the front of the box. And then the faces deform as the fights progress. This is the sort of idea that only Japan would come up with. You can select from 6 boxers and you get to fight through 5 matches facing against the remaining fighters. As you fight, you'll have a set time in which to take your opponent down, with health bars showing on the left and right side, which lower as you attempt to make your foe a nasty smear on the boxing ring floor. When you're finished pummeling your foe, you can use various combinations to unleash special attacks to try and knock them out quicker. As and when your opponent are knocked to the floor, you have the block-headed ref start to count one of you out. If you are the one who's been knocked down, if you fail to pick yourself up from the mat in the time involved, before the count-out finished, that's it, game over. And I would say the cats go in the boxes that lose. That would be appropriate. I don't even know with this game, really. It's just so bizarre. And Aquada's saying, if cats go in, if they fit, they sit. What a blockhead, oh dear. I need more caffeine. But yeah, it's such a bizarre idea, this. It's just probably the sort of thing which is absolutely hysterically funny if you've had a couple of drinks and have your friends over. Which obviously you can't do at the moment because COVID-19. Sadness. I did find a couple of tracks from Funky Head Boxers, but they were mostly very short and not actually very good. So from here on out, I am just going to play whatever the hell I want. So from Guardian Heroes, we've got Fighters of Pain. And then from Helicopter Knife Fight, we've got Whip This Beat, a Castlevania 2 OC remix. Yes, I know it's not Sega, I do not care. So enjoy those, and I'll speak to you guys again after the break.
to Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7.
And we are back. And the Discord chat has been very naughty and, yeah, there are jokes about, Electric Boogaloo posted a picture of a backup of the first project that's Yuji Naka ever worked on at Sega, and it's on a 5¼ inch floppy disk. And of course the floppy jokes are then being made by the chat, I, of course, am not participating because I am completely above that sort of thing. Yes, absolutely. So let's move on. So back with funky head boxes, because there's a great deal of other random nonsense to be mined there. The game released on arcades in 1995, but there was a Saturn release 2 years later where you could get a few extra modes, including a separate versus mode for the CPU and human players, along with the champion mode where you run through an arcade mode against various boxes. In this game as well, if you're both still standing at the end of the round, you get to a mini-game of sorts where you get to try and replenish some of your lost health by rapidly pressing buttons on the controller. Now the attract mode on the arcade version shows a screen saying, featuring the voice of John Robinson, and I have no idea who that was. So I looked a bit further into it, and the only clue I had was what was written below it, which is Avex Trax, spelled AVEXTRAX, which turns out to be a Japanese record label. And John Robinson happened to be one of the artists who was also part of one of the initial creators of the cybertrance music genre. So I learned a thing, and I hope you have learned a thing there as well. Not really related to Sega, but interesting nonetheless. And Frost saying, just because Skyblaze hosted Club Sega once doesn't mean we should get like this. Resident SD saying, I need fruits, filth stretches far and wide, damn you, I need fruit. Oh dear. Apparently Avex also I can say words. Avex also provided some of the tracks for Sega Touring Car Championship, according to Electric Boogaloo. That's pretty interesting. So we can tie it back to Sega in more than one way, apparently. And Resident SD saying, we'd have to use something that's 22mm wide and 80mm long. It just isn't the same. I'm trying to figure out what he's referring to. I never thought I'd get to do an M2 joke, but here we are. What? Oh, the chat's very strange. We have a very strange chat, you guys. Not that this is exactly news to me, but still. Right. Oh dear. Let's have some more music then. So I just picked a couple of things basically at random. Well, not quite at random, because cybertrance was mentioned as a genre, so... We have Urban Flow High Five Cybernetics for Cybernetic Carnival, and then from Yuji, Zillion Melodic Trance OC Remix. Do you see what I did there? Cybernetic Carnival, Melodic Trance, Cybertrance. I'm on a lot of painkillers, okay? So I hope you enjoy that anyway. And I'll speak to you guys again after the music break for Chipchin Corner. And we are back. And that was UG with Zillion Melodic Trance from our friends over at OC Remix. And before that we had Urban Flow High Five Cybernetics for Cybernetic Carnival, which was from one of the Sonic Stadium music albums, although I can't remember which one. The chat is talking about a guy called on YouTube called DankPod, who apparently does very funny videos. Maybe I'll watch one at some point. And then I mentioned that there's this insane Scandinavian guy that me and Greyfall follow called Odd Tinkering. And he does restoration videos of things like games consoles, Game Boys, vintage electronics, tools, that sort of thing. He doesn't really speak in his videos, he uses on-screen text to describe what he's doing, but on occasion he will just throw in something completely random. Like, at one point, there was a bunch of sawdust on his table, so he brings in this, vacuum pipe thing to suck it all up. But he put googly eyes on the vacuum pipe. And he'd overdub, this ridiculous comedy sucking noise. So this ridiculous thing with googly eyes appears and goes... and then disappears again, and I just howled with laughter. I think I was very tired at the time, but yeah, it just struck me as hilarious. Isn't it weird how every so often something will just hit you as being really funny, even if it isn't that funny? Anyway, Chim Chim Corner. So Stephen Keen, is better known to chiptune fans by the fanciful name of Unicorn Dream Attack. He's been making electronic music since 1997 and got involved with the electronic music scene during a stint working in various music studios around Detroit. In around 2004, he got involved with the chiptune music after experimenting with the sounds that could be produced by his beloved microcomputers and home game consoles. And Frost is saying, awesome name. Yeah, Unicorn Dream Attack is a brilliant name. Not to be confused with the video game. So yeah, from Unicorn Dream Attack, we've got a track called Super High Tops 1987, and I will post a link to his Bandcamp page on the chat, and I believe that Twinny will put it up on social media as well. But here we go with Super High Tops 1987 from Unicorn Dream Attack. And then I'll be back after the music break to close out the show. are back, and that was Unicorn Dream Attack Super High Tops 1987. So, thanks to everybody who's tuned in today, despite the fact that the episode was postponed from its usual slot. Believe it or not, next week is actually going to be my 100th episode. I'm a bit blown away by this, to be perfectly honest, because I can't really believe that my silly little trivia show has got this far. Thank you so much to everybody who's stuck with me, or people who have just joined and decided that they like it. Despite all the various issues I've had and the time I've had to take off because of illness and other issues. So thank you so much to everybody who has listened ever to this show. If you're listening now, if you have ever listened before. Frost Game has put up a kind of army of the kitty blobs. But yeah, I can't believe that it's 100 episodes. It's going to be 100 episodes next week. As a result, I'm going to be doing a bit more of a personal thing. I'm going to be talking about my personal favourite Sega games and what they mean to me. But if you have any ideas for episodes that you want me to cover after that, you can get in touch with me via Twitter, where I am at Blazing Skies. You can reach me through the Radio Sega Discord. You can find me there. I'm Skyblaze. Or you can reach me through the Radio Sega Facebook and Twitter pages. And yeah, be sure to tune in next Saturday for my 100th episode. I will be taking requests, but I will also be playing a lot of stuff that I like, because it's my 100th episode, so I think I'm allowed. Yeah, I'm still getting over that, but hey ho. One last track to go out on then. So, from FF Music DJ, we've got Hidden Palace Future for our final track. I hope you see what I did there. But, so until next week, and I swear I will broadcast next Saturday at 9 PM UK time, if it kills me. I hope it doesn't, but I hope it, that is my promise to you guys. I've been Skyblaze, and this has been the Hidden Palace here on Radio Sega. Hope to see you guys next week for the special anniversary special. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Enjoyed the show? Check out the full Radio Sega live schedule at radiose.ga/shows. Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7.